In the last couple of months, I spoke to hundreds of agency owners, and all of them are trying to scale their agency, but 90% of them have an issue of getting appointments consistently. So in this video, I'll walk you through the foundations, the execution, and results side of things of appointment bookings, so you could, consistently and on-demand book appointments for yourself, for your agency, and sign clients every single month. And you could, scale your agency for 10K, 20K, 30, 50K, or even 100K a month. Okay. So the first thing in the foundation side of things is the market research. Okay. We have 4 steps, which is market research, focus on one, offer, and calculate your steps. Okay. So going the market research is your ICP. If you never heard of the term ICP, it's basically ideal client persona. Who do you want to target? Who you want your messaging to be written to? Okay. So first thing you want to answer for yourself is, where does my ICP hang out? Okay, because professional businesses, local businesses, they have different, platforms they use constantly every single day. So for example, does your ICP use emails for every single day to, message their clients, or just talk and chat in between their colleagues or whatever? Do they use Facebook? Do they post a lot of Facebook? That's most of the time the local businesses. LinkedIn, are these professionals, finance, accountants, whatever, these sort of businesses. Do you just use their website and that's it? Do you use Instagram, Reddit, X, TikTok, or do you just go by phone calls? Okay. So first, you want to find out which of these platforms or any other platform did they use, and then I'll explain the further steps. Okay. Now, what you're gonna do is also answer what is the problem that you can solve. And note, first find a problem, then try to fit a service to fix it, not the other way around. What happens quite often, people, watch YouTube or whatever, and they find out that, hey, the SMMA, social media marketing model, is the best for me. I'm gonna learn Facebook ads, and I'm gonna, help local service businesses, local contractors, uh, with Facebook ads. That's cool, but what if the niche or the industry doesn't need more leads? And for example, they only need help with their, for example, quotes, right? They don't have enough time to quote everyone, and they still do it manually. So Facebook ads probably will not be the best option for, helping with quotes, because you're trying to push a service that they don't need. And in the end, it's going to be really hard to sell you something, since again, if they don't need it, why they should buy it, right? Don't force a service to a niche. First, find a problem and then fix the problem for the niche so you can make a lot of money. Okay. So for example, not enough leads, run some advertisements, right? If the niche is not getting enough leads, run some ads. If the niche can't find good labor, help them recruit better people. Or for example, contractors and such, they find it's really hard for them to find good labor. Bad quality leads, nurture their leads and improve sales process. Okay, a lot of the businesses don't know how to sell people, and they've never done it because they rely on referrals, and that's about it. They don't have time freedom, automate their process, right? With the whole AI automation boom that everyone's trying to do an automation agency, but it still works because people need time, and just help them automate their stuff. For example, like I mentioned, the earlier example is quotes, coding process for contractors. A lot of the time they just do it manually by hand, and if you want to help them, just create an automation for it and you'll be good to go. And what outcome do they desperately want, right? Do they want predictable jobs every month, a reliable team, more time freedom, higher margins? So in this way, you have your market research, so you actually know where they hang out, what problems do they have that you can't fix, and with that service, what is the dream outcome they'll get? For example, if you X, they're not getting enough leads, Y, you run some ads, and in the end, they're gonna get more predictable jobs every month. Okay, that's basically the math equation. So to make it on hand, example, X is this plus, oops, minus Y equals, those jobs basically. So if you're doing math, you should understand it. Cool. Now the other thing is you have to focus on one, right? Afterwards, you can do a lot of things, but as of right now, if you're starting to get appointments, if you want to get appointments, focus on one single thing, because simplicity wins, okay? And outbound simplicity wins. So is your ICP constantly using emails for talking with clients? Then probably the best platform to send out outreach to is cold emails. Is your ICP in a professional industry? In that case, you can use LinkedIn. Is your ICP old school and likes doing business over the phone? Then you can do cold calls or SMS messages. Okay. Now the whole thing, it's kind of, it's not like a dead. It's I've said it and just do it this way. You just gotta, again, based on the market research, you can find out maybe your niche is like a professional industry, so they can be using and emails and LinkedIn. But what I suggest, if you use both or even all of them, you just try doing one, get good at that, for example, specific system, and then you can, scale the whole system or add another platform. Okay, so I don't want you to do two things at a time because it's gonna get confusing. You're gonna get frustrated, and if people don't book at the right away, you're gonna get mad, frustrated, and the emotions are gonna take the best of you, and then you'll, just stop. So just only focus on one system and don't worry about nothing else. Okay, just test, 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 and test, which I'm gonna explain a bit later. Cool. Now, other thing you have to do is create an actual offer. Okay, people love offers, and if you're just starting out or you don't have enough case studies, proof of concept, then create an offer that feels so good, people will it's going to be an irresistible offer. Okay, so this is a value equation you've probably seen by Alex Hormozy. Okay, so for example, dream outcome, perceived likelihood of achievement, divided by uh, times time delay times effort and sacrifice equals value. Okay, so for example, taking our example with contracts and such, dream outcome, they want jobs on demand, basically. Sorry for my bad writing. I'm writing with my mouse. Jobs on demand. Perceived likelihood of achievement. Simply you guarantee you'll get guarantee. Okay, cannot write. Guarantee. Let's say 6 jobs in 12 weeks. Okay, so you're gonna guarantee they're gonna get jobs, or you're gonna just refund the money. Okay, refund. Boom, bob. Okay, now the time delay. Here is 12 weeks. You're gonna get 12 weeks. Okay, 12 weeks. Effort and sacrifice. Are you gonna do it for them? Are you gonna teach them how to do it, or what? In this case, let's do it done for you. Okay, done for you. So basically, you're gonna do everything for them. So just the only thing they have to do is get the quotes and basically do that. So the value of this is they're gonna get. Let's do this. It's gonna be easier. Jobs on demand. Sorry, 6 jobs guaranteed. Guaranteed six jobs in what is happening with in 12 months, or you get your money back. Right? This is a fairly simple guarantee, right? I suggest doing more work on it and what exactly do these people need, but it's gonna work, not a problem. It's not guaranteeing too much. It's possible to achieve within 4 months, right? Sorry, in 3 months, it's possible to achieve 2 jobs a month. I feel like that's easily achievable. But what you gotta do is have actual good guaranteed terms. For example, if you're doing Facebook ads, make them have like an ad spend of at least 1,500 to 2,000 a month, so you wouldn't be refunding people back which they do not deserve because they didn't have enough good criteria for you to work with. Okay, so basically just create an offer that is so good people will be stupid saying no to, and then what you gotta do is actually calculate your steps. Okay, so know how much effort you have to put in to get the outcome you want. Okay, so for example, if you want 30 appointments a month, and hypothetically, the worst case scenario, you have 0.1% booking rate. Okay, I'm just giving you really low numbers so you could get the math of it. And then in that case, you wanna, I guess, map it out that you need to, if you want to get 30 appointments and you have 0.1% appointment booking rate, this means out of 1,000 emails sent, you'll get to 1 appointment. That means you'll need to send 30,000 emails a month. And in that case, it's going to be 7.5K emails per week. Okay, cool. In that case, you know that you need 7,500 emails per week to send out to book 30 appointments. This is on the worst case scenario. If you have, 2% of that instead of 1, then you will be able to send only 15K emails per month, and it's gonna be 4.5K, I think, if I'm doing math correctly. No, it's gonna be 3.5K. Yeah, 3.5. Am I wrong? Basically, you get the gist of it. I don't know if the math is not mapping right now, but basically you'll see the math behind it, and you'll be able to book appointments on that case. Okay, just gotta map it out and reverse engineer everything. Now, for the links and side of things, I also written down on the low end. If you want 30 appointments a month, and let's say you have only a 2% appointment booking rate, you need to send out 1,000 connection requests a month to, get to get 2% appointment book, 2% appointment book rate and 30 appointments a month. And with those connections a month, you're gonna need to send 250 connections a week. And let's say you only have a 20% connection acceptance rate. Then safe limits are for each account is 175 connection requests per week per account. So it comes down to 25 connection requests per day. That means you're gonna need 6 LinkedIn accounts sending 175 requests per week to book 30 appointments from LinkedIn. Okay, then this is like on the, I guess, worst case scenario. So again, just map it out, do the math yourself, and you'll be good to go. Cool. So this was the foundation side of things, right? So we did the market research, we focused on one platform, we got the offer, and then we calculated our steps so we can get the best results possible in terms of our effort put in. Okay. Now the other thing is, I guess, the most important thing is the actual execution, right? This is where people get scared and don't know how to properly execute stuff. So there are 5 steps, which is script the leads, filter and verify them, A/B test scripts, get email accounts, and create, double check, and launch. Okay. So for scraping the leads, again, it depends on what sort of ICP, where does your ICP hang out, right? What sort of niche it is. So find your leads and scrape them from places where your leads are at. So these are Apollo, Crunchbase, and Zoom Info. These are databases, right? It looks something like this with Apollo, for example. And what you gotta do is just basically filter out what sort of, location they are in, the job titles, and employees, industry keywords, for example, and then you'll be able to, export the list. So if you want, just send me a message by joining the free community I have in the first link in the description. Send me a message to me in the group, and I'll basically show you some guys that can script Apollo leads for really, really cheaply. Okay. So this was one of the ways to script leads for yourself. Then the other thing is LinkedIn, right? LinkedIn is the best for like those professional niches, whether it be, finances, accountings, agencies, or whatever. You can script LinkedIn. So but you need to have Sales Navigator. Also, if you want Sales Navigator, join the free community. I have links where you can get basically people that sell the Sales Navigator for like $20, $25 per month. Okay, so it's a lot cheaper because I think Sales Navigator from LinkedIn itself is like $100. So you're gonna save a lot of money when doing this. So what you want to do again is filter out, for example, me targeting PPC and agencies. Basically have this term, then I have the job titles posted on LinkedIn, company headcount, and you have 1.5k people that you can reach out to every single day. Okay, and again, if you want to export some leads on LinkedIn, again, I have people, I have connections that can help you with that. Cool. And I guess last thing is best for local businesses, service businesses that you can target is Google Maps. Okay. So for Google Maps, you basically just go in an area, search a company, and you'll have a bunch of, companies that you can scrape and afterwards enrich them to get their emails. Okay. So also for getting emails, there are lots of websites, softwares to, that you can pay to basically get emails. But if you join my community, I'm gonna show you how you can get the website emails for basically for free, and it really doesn't take much effort to do it. Okay, so this is how you scrape leads. Uh, whether it be a database, LinkedIn, or Google Maps, everything has a software that can be scraped. You can also use softwares like Apify, Outscraper, and such that you can, basically use them to get lead data from these websites. Okay. Now, other thing is once you get the leads, we actually need to filter and verify them. By doing that, you need to use either a million verifier, zero bands, or join my school community, or I'll probably be changing from school to Discord just so I can chat with you people. So if you want, join my Discord, which will be the first link in the description. And basically, I can show you how you can basically verify leads for free and have really, really low bounce rates. Okay, as you can see, when you get the validation, you have valid leads, catch all leads, and invalid. And in that case, you can basically send out to 5,000 people that are valid without having any issues. Okay, so after you verify them and filter them out, what you're gonna do is actually A/B test the scripts. Okay, so to do that, you have A and B. You can use these as examples, as templates. For example, hi first name, recently helped client achieve a specific result. I think you could do the same for the company, work exploring, signature, and you can also add a PS line if you want to. with like, like a case study or like a guarantee or whatever. And then B would be a value prop led. Hyper's name was searching for industry or industry plus location and came across your website. We help companies in your industry achieve specific results in X time frame. Was thinking you could do the same for your company. Interested in learning more, signature, and again, you can also add a PS line, basically saying something cool about it. Because usually people read the subject line, the first line, and then the PS line. If they like it, then they can read the whole other stuff, basically. Okay. So once you have an A/B test that you can actually, see which type of copy works better for your case, then you actually need to get the email accounts so you could, send the emails from, right? So what I use is MailSteady. This basically costs $49 for each domain, and each domain has 100 inboxes. And if you have 10 inboxes, then 10 domains, then you're able to send out 5,000 emails per day. Okay, so it becomes really, really cheap to actually scale. And if you want to, send 3,000 emails per month based on our previous example, like this, right? What you gotta do, oops, I'm into form. What you gotta do is get 3 domains, send 30K emails, and it's gonna cost you $147 for 3 domains, which is freaking cheap, right? If you want to scale your email system, and once you have a proven process, it becomes so cheap because you'll be signing clients, and you'll spend like $50 or like $30 or like even $15 per appointment, and you'll be able to close a lot of clients. Okay. Now, in the end, what you're gonna do is actually create the campaigns, double check them, and launch. Okay. So for creating the campaigns and actually launching them, there are called sequencers, which you gotta use. I myself use Plus5, but what I also used to use previously is Instantly and Smartly.ai. Just, I guess, on your preference, I like Plus5 because, I don't know, I just like this. I guess it's cheaper, right, in that case. And I just like it has more scale that I need to use it, right? So, and how I set up my campaigns is basically I have the initial A/B test, right? As you can see, A/B test. This is the first step. Then I have the second step, which is the follow-up, and also the third step is also the third follow-up. And that's about it. That's the only thing I have. And then once you have it, you can double check your copies, double check your leads, so you're not missing anything out. And then you gotta click launch. Okay. Once launch, you gotta wait out. So this was the whole execution side of things. Basically, you gotta scrape the leads, filter and verify those leads, A/B test scripts, get email accounts, and then create and double check and launch. Okay. So once you have all of that with the foundations and execution, then you gotta wait for the results. Okay. Only thing you need is patience, track, evaluate, and reiterate. Okay. So for the patience, do not, and I'm telling you, do not touch the campaign until you've sent emails to at least 2,000 leads and all follow-ups have been sent. Okay. Why is that? Because there is latency. For example, in cold emails, there is latency with follow-ups and everything. Because people not all the time book, in the first hour, in the first day, in the second day, and third day when they get their emails, right? Some people might reply positively within the first 30 minutes, but they can book in like 8 days because you need to follow up with people. So what you're gonna do is send out the 2,000 leads and at least to wait 7 days after sending those leads so you could see the metrics you have going on. Okay. Once you have that, you'll see if your copy is working, is your subject line is working, is your deliverability wrong, and then you can actually make changes. Because if you're not waiting this time frame out, then there's no point in doing cold email, because if you are a marketer, you gotta test everything out. Okay. And then the last thing is actually track, evaluate, and iterate. For example, get a Google Sheets, create a tracking sheet where you track your initial email sent, positive replies, and bookings. Okay. And then every single day, you gotta just track each metric, right, one by one, every single day in the morning or in the evening when you have sent everything out. And then you'll see what's your appointment booking rate is looking like. For this example, we had a positive reply rate of 0.553%, and the appointment booking rate was 0.17, right? The appointment booking rate is compared slightly lower than it should be for this, because you can, get slightly higher appointment booking rate by calling people, sending them through, different platforms like LinkedIn, SMS, or whatever. And basically, when you track it, you don't track it every single day. For example, if I get a reply on the 7th, I don't. I first check when was the initial email sent for that lead. If the initial email was sent on the 3rd, what I'm gonna do, even though if I get an email reply on the 7th, I track the email reply for this third. Okay, why I'm doing this? Because maybe on the third I had one type of copy. For example, I had this copy A, okay, and on the seventh or like the sixth I changed it to B, right? And even though the lead replied back to me on the seventh, this means the initial email that we sent was from the test A, right? And that's why we got to track on what date the initial email was sent. Okay, so this is really, really crucial to track the metrics and have everything done correctly. Okay, for example, again, let's say the initial email was sent on the 10th of November. Okay, this was the initial, but the lead reply, let's say, on the 18th. Okay, and I'm not gonna track it on the 18th. What I'm gonna do is gonna open up the email thread that we chatted with the lead, and see, okay, this lead got a first email from us from on the 10th, and I'm gonna track that, hey, this was sent on the 10th of November. Okay, hopefully get this point across, track it this way, and what you gotta iterate is if you are happy with the results, just scale by adding more volume, and you'll be good to go. Basically, if you're getting a 0.17% booking rate, and you're saying this month you send almost 21,000 emails, then what you're gonna do is just increase those numbers, and you'll get way more appointments than 36 in this case. And if you are not happy with the results, you gotta create new tests and repeat the whole process. Okay, this is the most important thing in marketing. If you don't like the results or if not something you were expecting of, stop it, create new tests, and see what happens again. So basically, that's what you gotta do. The whole process again comes down to doing market research and going on, and basically just like a flywheel of testing, basically. Okay, so hopefully I made this clear enough for you so you can actually start booking appointments and finding a system that can book your appointments, scraping those leads, and actually executing and getting results for booking appointments. And if you want more help, just join my community. It will be the first link in the description. It's a free community. You can ask me any question that you want or need help with, and yeah, we'll be able to chat and see what we can help you with. And if you want even more one-on-one help rather than just being in the community itself, there'll be the second link in the description. There's gonna be a call. You can schedule a call with me, and we'll have a one-on-one talk and see if there's any way we can help you to book more appointments. Okay, appreciate you, and have an amazing day.